The Orlando Magic over the years haven't been quite the team that catches your eye, but as of recent, in my eyes, they are must-see TV. Having many young guys on this team that can contribute in a huge way makes every game exciting to watch, and when we talk about players that can impact the game, this team has a lot that can do that greatly. Today we're going to touch on the fantastic point forward in Franz Wagner and the demigod in Bol Bol. Now if you're unsure what a demigod means, don't worry, you'll definitely have a clear understanding by the end of this video. There's many viable options to run this offense through on this team, but when you have a 6'10 forward who can stay composed, set up teammates greatly, and also go get a bucket for himself, then this is obviously someone you want to utilize to the fullest and put your trust in to get the offense flowing. Franz is a special player who doesn't get the recognition he deserves. Maybe it's because he's on the Magic and not one of these super big market teams, but nonetheless, you can't overlook his talent. His feel for the game is unmatched for somebody this early in their career, and when on the floor, Wagner is pretty flexible to contribute in any way, sort of like a glue guy. But I think Franz is way more valuable than what that role type provides, as you can cater really any offensive responsibility to him, and he can get the job done at an exceptional level. Wagner controls the pace he plays at while dissecting the defense greatly, and just when you think you have him contained right in your line of sights, well, Franz has the vision to zip passes to open teammates anywhere on the court. Wagner is dishing out 4 assists a game, but when looking at his potential assists, Franz throws out nearly 9 per game, and this further shows the facilitating abilities he possesses. Being able to work out that pick and roll effectively as a screener is a given for guys his size, but to be proficient as the ball handler in these situations, it raises the amount of value Franz brings to this team. It's finds like this that are truly amazing. As Wagner comes off the screen, he has the ability to throw it to Schofield on the roll, but instead he no-looks his pass all the way across court for the 3-ball. And then after running McDaniels off this go screen, Franz immediately attacks Bucknight off the switch, and as the double comes after spinning off, Wagner cradles the ball through and wraps this pass around PJ Washington for the Wendell slam. The sturdy ball control allows him to keep the ball alive when pressured and get to his spots comfortably after running defenders off screens. Unlike a lot of young players who tend to get sped up and not let the play fully develop, Wagner has the patience to let things form on the court, and just when you think it's too late or he has nowhere to pass it to, Franz finds the open man no matter where he is at on the floor. This type of court vision is something we don't really see often from 6'10 forwards, but I promise you it doesn't just stop there. Since Franz's ability to get to the paint is a strong point in his game, defenders will tend to hedge out hard to stop the penetration or collapse on him on the drives, so it allows for passes like this to be made over the top of the defense to the roller for easy buckets at the rim. Taking into account his height and then pairing it with the situational awareness, when defense is suctioned towards him without hesitating, Franz can make the DoorDash delivery within seconds so teammates can go eat. When taking Powell off the dribble getting downhill, upon spinning back, he's bombarded by the double from Maxey, and he's able to thread it right through the middle to a slashing Houston for the lay. If you look towards the top of the screen on this play, you can see Wagner running off this pick on the sideline, and once catching, he pushes towards the paint aggressively and garners the attention from 3 Chicago defenders, which allows for this lob over the top to Wendell for the alley-oop connection. Possessing such a high IQ to make the right passes on the fly at such a young age is a promising trait for Franz's facilitating going forward, and it's times like this where he's telling Carter to cut through so he can set him up for the easy bucket that shows the control he has over the offense. And then even when being forced to pick up his dribble, Wagner's still calm and focused to pivot, step through, and then with some flash no-look this pass down to Bamba for the flush. This advanced level of passing unlocks Franz's game further, so once he's got the offense flowing, he can then insert himself in and go get buckets. With his scoring heavily predicated on finishing inside, in the restricted area Franz is converting at a 65% rate, and he's getting there in a variety of ways. Whether it's off the dribble drop penetration, crafty post-up moves, or slicing through the defense receiving the ball off cuts, Wagner can make the defense pay while being very unpredictable. Guys his size shouldn't be able to move the way he does at times, and his funky footwork on the drives is what makes Franz's game very unique. Imagine a guy coming at you, and right as you're timing the block, he uses one of those wrong-footed layup gathers to catch you off guard. Well, that's pretty much Franz's game to a T. Watch as he takes Turner to the basket. Although Miles is right there on Franz to contest, since Wagner shot this off the wrong foot, Turner was caught off guard and times the block too late, resulting in a goaltend and a bucket for Wagner. Even listen to what the announcer says on this play.
Mounted by the Rockets. And that's goaltending.
He shot that off the wrong foot.
So using many different unorthodox moves to keep defenders guessing, elevating prematurely, and using his footwork to manipulate you is all a part of his skill set and makes it very hard to dictate what's coming next. In this play, we get to see the amazing footwork on display as Wagner crosses back left after rejecting the screen, and once Aiden steps up on the drive, Franz Euros right around him for the warm-up lay. Immediately after receiving the pass, Wagner sort of snakes around the screen to get to the middle of the floor, and right as Gobert commits, Franz spins off him, stays controlled, and lays it over the top of the shot blocker. Creating for himself off the dribble to go score at the rim is a specialty for Franz, regardless of him not having the flashiest or the shiftiest handle. His handle is tight enough to get him to where he needs to go, and then he's also strong enough with his frame to muscle through defenders to get to the bucket. Although the ball has been in his hands more this season, Wagner is a terrific cutter off ball, and he will make the defense pay for any collapse or gap they leave him. It's times like this where we see a little give and go action, and Franz plays through the contact for the and one. And then there's other times Franz uses his IQ, and as Dennis Smith creeps up to take away the pass to Wendell on the roll, Wagner immediately cuts back door for the wide open lay at the rim. The offensive game of Franz doesn't just stop there, as he's comfortably shooting the ball in the mid-range and from deep. Now, just because I said comfortably, that doesn't mean he's nailing it at the highest percentage. I think these are areas Franz can be special in, especially from the mid-range, as he can effectively create space for himself and knock it down. Pulling Looney out here before attacking him, Franz snatches behind the back, uses the baby in and out into a step back, and smoothly sinks it from 20 feet. Shooting 43% from mid-range and 31% from deep, he's gonna have to continue putting in work from these areas, but for now, things look like they are on the upward trajectory. Now, if you made it this far, let me know one thing about Franz's game you like, and one thing you want to see him work on more, and let's discuss it. So here's the bonus to the video, and also the X factor for the Magic, and that is the demigod Bol Bol. Now, for years, I've been saying Bol Bol is a cheat code that works in any game you have. You're probably wondering, what is all this demigod talk? What does that mean? It's simply describing a player that can literally do anything on the court while also having a height tall enough to combat any defender that's on him. Bol Bol is able to score the ball at all three levels on the court, and he does so with ease. Shooting 60% from the field and 42% from deep, Bol's more than a dependable option for whenever you need a bucket. For a skyscraper like him, at 7'2", you don't really ever see guys move the way Bol does, and then when you pair that with the pretty shifty handle he has, it's actually pretty hard to stop Bol Bol from getting anywhere he wants to on the floor when he sets his mind to it. When attacking the basket, Bol uses his extreme length to his advantage to get past defenders and extend out over them to put it right in the rim. The other night versus the Pacers, Bol made this nice move at the elbow as he comes up towards the top of the key, then fakes the handoff and spins back instead, and after getting the step on the defense, he just punches it home right over them. Then there's other times where he shows off that handle and can push it on the fast break, as he glides past Russell here, and then changes directions quickly, crossing over Gobert to soar in for this mini floater. Now, do you honestly think a lot of people can stop that? Because I certainly think it's one of the most difficult things to do. Even the numbers back it up further, as Bol converts 82% of his shots in the restricted area and nearly 76% on all shots within 8 feet. The inside game is dangerous, but you also don't want to allow Bol to get into his shot on the perimeter. His height and length alone make it to where almost no one can really block his shot, and then when you add in that he is more than capable of knocking it down from deep, well, that's what makes him such a great threat from the outside. Only putting up 1.8 threes a game, if Bol can get his attempts to at least 3, maybe 4 per game and keep that same efficiency, this is where we will see a huge leap from Bol Bol. He's just now getting consistent playing time in the league, so I'm not rushing much, and I think he'll make the most of it. So definitely in the future, we're going to see bright things from Bol Bol. This Magic team is filled with talent all over the place, and when you have a guy like Franz who has the potential to be a key leader in this offense, and then Bol Bol who can literally do whatever he wants providing a quick spark, it really shows you how well this team could perform when they finally put it together. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like before you head over to watch this Paolo Banchero analysis. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.